to promote the apprenticeship.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a very effective way to promote.
Okay. All right.
Are we live?
We are live on all the things now.
We are live in all the things. Welcome,
Amy.
everybody. Welcome to Tarot and Tones. You can pick a deck. You got to pick a deck or I won't do it. And Melissa can tell you. And you get a 2-card reading with the tarot on basically what energies are at play that are preventing your soul from most fully experiencing itself. Or you can pick the oracle. Sometimes they'll do at least one card from oracle, sometimes 2, depending on the card. But welcome. And Melissa will keep a list of the people in order of who's getting the reading next. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Or you can pick an energy healing. We got the Kabbalah forks, we have Archangel forks, and we got my favorite and Melissa's favorite noisemaker, my handheld crystal bowl.
Can you hear my eye roll?
You can hear my eye roll. It sounds good.
Hello, everybody. If you would like either the card reading or healing, drop your name in the comments. Let us know where you're from.
Yeah. And for people like Melissa and myself that it's Halloween all year round, I brought the Jack-o'-lantern tarot. So that's one of my favorite. But we have today the Grand Lux tarot, the Heaven and Earth tarot, the Runic tarot. Both of these are by the same artist. They're really beautiful decks. Then we got the Jack-o'-lantern tarot. And then in terms of oracle cards, we have the Ancestor Spirit Oracle, the Spirit of Animals Oracle, and the Ganesh Oracle.
Hello, Karen. Yeah. Anybody wants reading or healing?
And not on there, but I'll throw it up. We do have the Angel Tarot, but I ran out of room to sufficiently put them. Then we have the Mystery Tarot that I will use if I feel like it. It's not really the Mystery Tarot, it's just one that I'm not saying what the name of it is. We may use it. If Melissa has to pick a deck, she can pick that one.
Hello and welcome. First time in. Your husband has a t-shirt that says, "Did I roll my eyes out loud?" I might need that one, and I think I need one for Marianne.
You should have that made. Oh, because you and Marianne are like eye-rolling sisters.
But new friends joining. Let us know if you'd like a reading or sound healing. We do this every Thursday at 11. No cost. Just give a follow, let us know. And
if you like a full session, you can go to the link on Instagram and TikTok you can't. You'll just go to goddessleak.com, go to Readers and Healers, and you can find me, and I'm bookable every Thursday in person and Zoom. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube, I believe that there's a comment. Well, maybe not on Twitch, I don't know, but there's a comment that links you right to my book link.
There will be.
Okay, well, there will be.
I am getting Nightbot situated.
Your bot?
Never had one before? Well, feel free. You can ask for one. Hey, Sandy. Oh, Karen would like a sound healing. Okay, sweetie.
Karen, so let's go ahead and...
Are you coming to see me Saturday with Marianne?
Yeah, actually, let's just open the space real quick for everybody. Pachamama, ompui, 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 mama, umba, mama, kocha, mama, kia, ompui, 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 waka, waira, kuna, ompui, 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 inti, taita, ompui, 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 quichi, kuna, ompui, 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 iri, wera, kocha, ompui, ompui, ompui. Okay. And then sound healing for Karen. Iari hatanuma Karen.
Hi, Lynn.
So just becoming very centered, and everybody can receive this, but we're specifically focusing on Karen, calling in columns of light from the upper world. Iari, saiwa kenchai hanapacha, ompui, ompui, ompui. And from your tailbone, allow a harpoon of heaviness to go deep into the earth, allowing yourself to create an energetic drain for everything dense, heavy, or stagnant, to, as I chant kenchai, to allow it to move out of your body, out of your being, and deep into the earth. Kenchai, huchasike yaksi yaksi mui yaksi pui. Very good. Another kenchai. Kenchai. And letting your consciousness roll from your head into your heart as I chant Moon Night, empowering you to manifest in this physical plane in this ever-present moment of now by combining your will and love with the power of Moon Night. Moon feeling everything dense, heavy, and staying that got animated from the chanting to drain effortlessly down the spine, deep into the earth. A Nike Kawaiki, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the earth will use that heaviness to grow and cultivate blessings to be manifested in your life. And I'll leave that with you.
All right, Lynn would like a reading with Heaven and Earth Tarot.
Heaven and Earth and Lynn. Iari Hatan Uma Lynn, which is calling the higher self of you, infusing that into the cards. And then a quick shuffle to see what two energies are most at play that will help you become you. Or I should say, the next grandest vision you've ever held about who you really are. And I feel this is one of them, and this is the other. So we have both the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, which is energies of really getting lost in the thoughts and feelings. And maybe there's been a compartmentalization that's occurred where you could had a defense mechanism of being up here, but that what word do I want to use? That barrier that kept them separate, it feels as though is starting to mix together. And so as you navigate this combining of your mind and your heart, it's really important for you to ask the questions like, what do I really feel about this? And when you're thinking about things, is that really what I think, or is this who I was taught to think? And I feel like we need a third card. Because what's really going to help you do this? The King of Pentacles. So the King is the will of the soul. Pentacles is people's projections and expectations about teaching you who you are and who you were supposed to be. But you're shedding all that now. So as the actual passion and the knowing of the soul comes forth, it's really time to do a fearless inventory of all the crap that you were taught to be and start purging it. What do you really think about something? What do you really know about something? And go based on your inner knowing and not who you were taught to be. And I'll leave you with that. Leave that with you.
Oh, you're welcome, Karen. We'll have him do it slower next time.
Slower?
Yeah, you're healing, zipping right along.
Well, I mean,
Dinah would
how
like
fast
Heaven
do you
and
want
Earth.
me to go, Melissa? Like, when you first start, you're like,
I need you to
pick up.
shush a minute, Laura. What kind of deck would you want for your reading, hon? All right. Karen wants your hat. Hey, Ernie. But Laura on TikTok, I need to know which deck you would like. There is the Heaven and Earth, the Namaste Oracle deck, the Ancestor Spirit Oracle, Spirit of the Animals, the Grand Lux. We'll turn that over a little more. The Runic Tarot. So just pick which one you like, and he'll do that for you. Yes, Dinah, Heaven and Earth.
Okay.
And then we'll have Sandy for the Runic.
I'm very happy to slow down if you want me to, Melissa.
Well,
you got me trained
healing.
from
That
those
Quechua
ones.
coming out way too quick.
Well, now you won't understand what the Quechua is anyway. Oh, who is this for again?
Dinah.
Dinah?
Spirit.
Yeah, you have to know Dinah. The very first time I did this, I was going all slow, and Melissa's like, you gotta pick up the pace, so I have to find a good balance.
It wasn't slow talking, it was going too in depth for quick readings. There's a difference. Amy, you are down to the third deck from his. That would be the Halloween.
Wow.
Nope, Runic.
Well, we also get Queen of Swords, and the way that I read, all the court cards are soul cards. And the Queen is a lot of it's the thoughts, but it gets caught up with you might have your knowing about something, but then you talk yourself out of your knowing. But we have the Magician. So this is really the time, like the Magician, you have all the elements of creation. You have all the tools that you need to create. The thing is that you might be thinking too much about how to put those things together. The little acorn does not think about how to use the earth, the water, the wind, and the sun to become the mighty oak. The acorn doesn't think of that. It just shows up and it does what it does. So it's like getting out of the doing part and having the being part first. When you're first the magician, when you are when you're actually being that creation energy, what you need to do is going to fall aside. It's going to be apparent. The universe is going to deliver to you opportunities to make choices. You're not going to have to figure it out. So start really settling into the being of the magician that you are, the magical being that you are, the infinite creator that you are, and then see what the universe delivers to you to express that beingness you're doing. Being first, doing second. If you do the doing first, then that's when we get head trippy and we can't figure things out. And I'll leave you with that.
Okay. Sandy with the runic.
Runic.
And then we'll go with Laurel. And then we have Amy.
Yari hatan
Lainey, I
Sandy.
need to know what deck you would like. And Stacy, yep, I'll get you on the list.
Yep, you can pick the decks or you can pick an energy clearing. Here's one. 8 of Swords. And 9 of Pentacles. So when there's situations that arise, the 8 of Swords is typically the one where you might see the woman surrounded by swords, blindfolded. And it's like the more you try to look at a situation, the more farther away from the actual solution you'll become. It's really about settling in, surrendering to the moment, and not trying to figure things out and really feeling your way through the situation. But the other part of it is, with the 9 of Pentacles, is the willingness, like, it may be that you fall just short when you do make a choice, or when you figure that I'm going to make a choice to get myself out of a mess. You fall just short of actually launching the bow and arrow. So 9 is all about you're pulling back to create change, to actually make a shift in your life, but then stopping just short of actually making the choice to let it go and let the arrow fly. So this is about getting into, like, following through and using your tools. I just pulled a third card, the Magician card. Using the tools that are laid out before you. Sometimes you miss the things that are in plain sight, because you have to feel out what are the actual tools versus what's just showing up. And I will leave that with you.
All right, Laurel on TikTok, Spirit of the Animals.
Spirit of the Animals. Laura?
Mm-hmm.
Yari hata nuna Laura. We got the squirrel energy. Oh, also, this is probably one of her favorite spirits, right? Squirrel.
I mean, they are kind of cute.
Yeah, I was saying that for different reasons. But anyway, it says, always prepared. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Make a plan for the future, and life will give you all that you need. But I also, when I read that, it's also not about so much planning. It's not planning in the terms of I need to do A, B, C, D, and E. It's planning and getting a glimpse of who you're becoming, just to get a little vibe of how that feels. Get the feeling of who you're becoming, and then let things unfold. But if you're starting to make the plan, it feels like you might get caught up with, if I made a plan, I got to stick to the plan. It's like the energy of the child who wants to go out for football practice, and the parents said, well, if you do, you got to finish it. They had the plan, like being flexible, that you don't have to go from A to B to C to D. All you know is you're going to end up at Z, and all the letters in the order they come in, give yourself the flexibility to roll with it. But for you, it's really important, the blending of having the plan or the idea of the destination, but being fluid in the process. And always having an element of what we call in shamanism, pupliai, which means sacred play. You have to have the play of a child, and then you don't get caught up on when things kind of hiccup along. And I'll leave you with that.
Hello, Facebook user. It's not letting me know your name.
You got to click the link to let StreamYard know who you are.
So new friends joining in, let us know if you'd like a reading or sound healing. Next we have Amy.
Yeah,
Amy, Runic Tarot as well.
Very good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Laurel. Do this on Thursdays. We also do Tuesday mornings at noon with Nanette.
Hatan Oma Laura. And I feel like saying this little prayer as we open the door to communication and healing. In the unity of the Holy Spirit, the great I am presence of the universe, we give thanks for the words spoken and the experience received as full of your grace, wisdom, truth, and love, and understanding of the highest. Amen. For Laura, the Runic Tarot, here is one of them.
No. You did Laura with Spirit of the Animals already.
Oops, which one? What name am I on?
Amy.
Amy, but Runic was correct?
I'm sorry?
Was Runic correct though?
For Amy, yes.
Amy.
Good morning, Colleen. If you'd like a reading, let us know which deck. You can pick from any of the ones on the table.
Here's one of them. The Queen of Wands, the passion, the power, the purpose of the soul. and the Chariot. So you got a lot, the vision that I get when I see the combination of these two cards is like a dam that's about to burst. There's so much push from the soul to push you in a direction. It like would burst forth like a dam. And it would be almost like there needs to be some sort of effort on your part to contain the walls of the water from not bouncing over the banks. So the Chariot energy is like distinct choice in how you're allowing the water to flow as best as you can. There is an element of just raw potential that is going to spill over, but to the best as you can to direct that flow where you would like it to go. And it feels as though you're one of those what I like to call blank slate creators, where you have so much possibility and potential, you get lost with, well, what should I really choose? And the crux of it is the destiny of the soul could be played out a million different ways, and none of them are wrong. So it's more asking the question, well, what actually feels the most fun for you? And use that as your guiding thing, because if you start to feel like what's right for you, there's a lot of things that are right for you because you're that broad, you have that much potential in terms of what you can create. But all the energy is there. It really is just a matter of choosing the guardrails of how you want that energy to flow out from you. So I will leave you with that.
All right. Next we have Lainey.
Lainey, I like that.
Grand Lux.
Grand Lux.
Yeah, the replay will be available there on Twitch.
Yeah,
Lainey. And after Lainey, we'll have Stacy, who Instagram, and we'll have Karen.
Speaking of Instagram, I'm Sonic Shaman 528 if you want to follow me there, and Sonic Shaman on TikTok if you want to follow me there. And you can book readings through Goddess Elite. There's a link. I think there's a link everywhere now. You can book in-person or virtual readings through the store every Thursday. Other times through my website using the code ELITE if you're booking at my office in Goddess Elite, so I know where you're coming from. And it also gives you a little bit of a price consideration. And I guess these are both it because it stopped shuffling for me. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles, which for me, all kings are the will of the soul. Just like aces are the divine feminine, kings are the divine masculine. And the King of Pentacles specifically is like your will of the soul, like the form that you're taking in this life is so tainted and filtered by who you were taught to be in this world. And for you specifically, it feels like there's what's called in psychology the panoptic gaze of a loved one looking over your shoulder, that everything you're doing, you're doing what would mom think about this? Not necessarily mom, but what would somebody in spirit think about this? And like judging everything you're choosing based on somebody who's not even there anymore. So it's really ideal to start shedding these things where you're judging yourself based on like very specifically like what these other people would have thought of you. The Five of Cups is the need to mourn what is no more, mourn but not regret the things that are no longer going to serve you. You have to then turn towards what you still have that's working for you and like focus on the things that are working. But it's really important for you especially. It's not just about letting go of the past, it's giving the past a proper death. So it's not just about getting rid of the panoptic gates. It's like, wow, I was really given a lot of value to being taught to be able to look at the world through this perspective, but I don't need to live by that perspective. I need to be able to use it when it serves me and not use it when it doesn't serve me. So honoring that, but starting to shift where you have other tools and other points of view that you can look at life through to navigate what you like to choose and create for yourself. And I will leave you with that.
And that was your Grand Lux, right?
Yes, that was Grand Lux.
Okay, so sure, Colleen, and you know what? We'll probably go with the Runic Tarot for you when we get down there. Next is Stacy. She's on our Instagram, Spirit of the Animals.
Spirit of the Animals.
He is.
And Stacy, right? You already have the name of Stacy. Hatan means great. Uma is like higher mind, or could even mean skull. So we're calling the higher mind of Stacy, infusing that vibration in the cards. And we have the elephant. Now first, I want you to get real still for a moment. And just like a pebble dropping into your other than conscious, use the sutra, strength of an elephant. And drop that into your other than conscious. And anything that doesn't allow you to have that inner strength, to have that inner standing in your own power, let it shimmy to the top. And with a breath, let it flow and let it go. 1, 2, 3. And now the card. Elephant is greatness. Love is your strength. Leadership is your path. Your wisdom inspires everyone you meet. You can overcome any problem. You will naturally and easily achieve success. But again, I think the real message for you, because this is something from Transcendental Meditation, it's one of the sutras of Patanjali, becoming centered, and do this when you meditate. Just say, strengthen an elephant and let that fall into your other than conscious like a pebble into a pond. And everything that holds you back from really standing in that strength and standing in that power is going to come to the top, like a boulder getting heaved in the winter. And so it feels like you're going to have monkey mind. You might be one of those people that when you try to settle into something, you're going crazy. That is your ego desperately trying to not let you see what's coming up because it wants you to stay disempowered. It knows you survived up until this point. It would rather you relive your worst day than to pick something new. And from your greatness, you're going to be able to pick a lot of new things, but it's a matter of getting those boulders heaved up of where you have given your power away. And you can even ask that question, where have I given my power away? And just start journaling about that. And all those things that you list out, those are things you can work on with distance healing or with a healer like myself. But start really looking at that because your greatness is there. It's just that you have given some of that away, believing the lie that there's things outside of you that are greater than you when the only being powerful enough to stop you is you. So give yourself permission to reclaim your power and have that strength of an elephant. And I'll leave you with that.
Tips on TikTok on if you'd like a reading, let me know and pick one of the decks on the table. Karen on Twitch would like Ancestor deck.
Ancestor. And we may pick two of these because this is a relatively new deck and it doesn't have a lot on it.
Cassiopeia.
And I got this from Go to Sleep. The pictures are just amazing. And for those of you who serve ancestor altars or want to start, Monday is the day that you do that. We can, I guess this is the one. We have Shine Brightly, Stand Out, Be Proud, Individuality. And what comes for me with this card is what if the greatest gift you could be to the world is the uniqueness of you? And in shamanism, we have this idea of this something called muhukoya, which means your seed of divinity. It is your potential to develop into a king and into a queen. And from that little spark of divinity coming through the filter of your ego, of your linear experience, think of the ego like a prism, right? And it hits that prism, and all of a sudden you have this rainbow of uniqueness that is you. And you have to offer that uniqueness out to the world, but we are taught to judge our uniqueness because we are taught to compare ourselves to other people. So the real energy here is to stop, or I invite you to no longer be in the energy of comparison. Because in the energy of comparison, we discount or we don't allow ourselves to really appreciate the uniqueness that is us. And even if your gift is mowing grass, being a landscaper, making people's lawns beautiful, there is beauty and uniqueness and power in that because you're helping people beautify the space around them. I'm just giving this as an example. I don't really think mowing grass is your thing, but it's really about whatever you're going to do, come from a place of being fully in your empowered self and surrendering that all parts of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is all part of that uniqueness and part of the medicine that you have to offer the world. And I will leave you with that.
All right, next we have Colleen. I'm going to go the Runic deck.
Runic Tarot. Colleen. Hatan Uma Colleen.
New friends joining, if you'd like a reading or sound healing, let us know in the comments.
These two. The Magician is coming up a lot today. The Magician and Justice. So this is, understand that true justice, like we don't get it. It is up to the universe to deliver karma. People reap what they sow, and we're not always seeing when we see people misbehaving or people doing things that we consider unfair. We don't necessarily see that you have to understand fairness or that you have to make fairness your business, because in that freedom you will invoke that magician that is within you, the magician that can use all these tools. But sometimes we end up not doing things that we know we can do because we're too caught up about how unfair a situation is, rather than stop and ask, what could I contribute to the world today that would just allow everything to increase in consciousness more, allow humanity to evolve a little bit more, and actually doing your part, offering the gifts that you have, instead of comparing what's fair, what's not fair, and getting caught up on the world and how it's showing up. We don't have to see the golden tapestry. We just have to do our part of the mess in the back in order to make the picture work. And I'll leave you with that.
All right. Next we have Tiffany on TikTok. TikTok, not TikTok.
TikTok.
I speak English sometimes well. Namaste deck.
Namaste deck. Wow. First one. Well, maybe that's the one because it just jumped out. So, this is definitely one. What's her name again, though?
Tiffany.
Tiffany. Iyari hatanuma Tiffany. Very good. So we're going to flip that. We're going to do two because I didn't shuffle it, but I'm firmly believing that was your card. But there we go. There's the second one. They're both having the word blessed or blessing in it. So I think that we're onto a theme for you, Tiffany. The first one says, life's blessings. Life bestows her blessing. She is the wind of change flowing through you, and this change is your blessing. Don't try to hold on, no matter how unsettling it may seem, for it all will magically transform when the time is right. When you look back, you will only see love. And let me have this as a mantra for you. What would it take for all of life to happen through you instead of to you? Life to happen through you instead of to you. Because just like the boat that's heading for the iceberg, if you have forward motion, you actually have the ability to maneuver. You have the ability to move because you're moving through the water. But if you're dead in the water, it's a lot harder to get the momentum to change. So let life happen through you, and as such, it's going to automatically help propel you down the stream of life. And the other one, a blessed idea. An idea manifests endless. Let me try reading that again. An idea manifests endless blessings, but you must act to bring the idea to life. In other words, you must do your part. If you're in a rowboat and the universe is rowing its half, but you're not rowing your half, you're going to end up going in a circle. So you must do your part. The time is right. Know that the world is full of ideas floating around aimlessly until someone notices and breathes life into them. This is your time to shine. Have faith. So I would encourage you to really meditate and ask all the things that life is bringing to you through you. What are those things really resonating with ideas that have been popping around in your mind? And use those energies and the synchronicity and what's the word I'm using from sound? The resonance to bring life into the things that are not actualized yet in your life. But it feels like you're really a super creator, a master manifester. There's so much possibility. You're like that blank slate too, getting lost in all the different things. Really though, what's the energy of the day that could create the most for you in the world? And I'll leave you with that.
All right, we actually caught up to the list.
Really?
Yes.
Did I talk too fast again?
No. So anybody who's thinking of getting a reading and you're contemplating, let us know, because we caught up. We've got nobody left in the list. Let us know in the comments. Facebook user, we sure can. We just need to know your name because it's only showing me that your name is Facebook user.
And for people who are like, even when I'm blowing the name into the cards, that's all things based on the shamanic tradition me and Melissa practice. And starting in July, there is a hybrid shamanic program that is going to be through the store. There's going to be 4 in-person 2-day weekends, and then there's an online portion for in between. And I forget the exact start date. When is that going to be?
It's like the one Monday. I'd have to look real quick. And all of my tech are running cameras. So
okay. Well, Melissa can't tell you the exact date, but if you go to goddesselite.com, go to events, there is going to be, you'll find that information. And I also think you made a Facebook event for it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can also go to the Facebook page and check that out. But that's with our teacher, Don Zane Kerfman, and he is the founder of Wild Hearts Medicine Society. And it is the Qatari tradition of cross-cultural shamanism. So it's highly based from the traditions of the Karo up in the mountains, but it has a couple different lineages, like the Wescar lineage, for example, and the Ankarian lineage, and a whole bunch of them that just effortlessly come together to make a beautiful tradition. And that's what this little guy is. This is my Kintu Misha, and it's like my medicine bundle. And Melissa and I have been working with Zane since 2016, 2018, somewhere in that ballpark. We started working with Zane, hosting him for workshops and things, and it is an amazing and rich tradition. If it calls to you, check it out.
July 10th. So they will be on Mondays.
July 10th. See, I stalled long enough for Melissa to look up the date. I had full faith in her.
Pull up yet another tab. Got 3 browsers open on a laptop and
yeah.
3 other pieces of tech running different cameras.
Yeah.
I feel like Garcia from Criminal Minds right now.
Yeah, you look pretty impressive with all this tech going on.
Better than it makes it look like I know what I'm doing.
Oh,
Judy would like a Heaven and Earth card reading.
Okay.
And then Lynn wants to know if you can do a collective for everybody.
Maybe.
All
I'll
the
ask in a moment.
peoples.
We should do that one maybe well, we'll see. If we don't have anybody, we'll do it. Otherwise, we can do one of those at the end. Yeah, he happened on Judy. This one for sure. Oh boy. We got the 6 of Pentacles. And we got the 8 of Swords. So let me show these cards first. Now, the way I read all 6s are love. And 6 of Pentacles is the idea that we get tripped up when we choose that love is conditional. And a lot of us think, oh, we love unconditionally until like something's going on and like there's not allowance for somebody. Because unconditional love, if you really want to love unconditionally like everyone, you would have to be an allowance of like every sin. You would have to be an allowance of all these things without like really having true compassion for things. But this is the idea of not letting yourself get tripped up, that love has to be earned, that there is some sort of value, you have to be good enough to receive it, and that type of thing. And the only way to really do that is to not look externally, because you don't know why somebody is acting the way they do. Maybe it's part of a bigger plan in that golden tapestry. So you have to go within in order to really have the awareness. You know, I don't have a full understanding of the whys certain things showed up, and I certainly don't prefer them. But what would it take for me to love that situation anyway and go inward to see what is my part now in creationship to what showed up? And I will leave you with that. And oh, this is the collective one now? Is that the next one?
Yeah.
We'll use the mystery deck for that.
The mystery deck?
Well, it's not really a mystery deck, but it's this one.
Oh, the Arcanum.
Yeah. I got this from Goddess Elite. It's a very nice deck.
I think you got most of those.
All but one. And then the only reason I got the one, I didn't know you had it. I was very sad when I saw it, and then I felt like a traitor.
You are. You are.
You know, it was one of those things I just bought in the moment, and then when I got here and I saw that you had it, I was like, oh no. Melissa's going to hate me. She's not going to love me unconditionally. She's like that 6 of Pentacles card who's going to judge me for doing it.
Yes. All conditional. And
See, she totally owns it. She's like, yes, so that is exactly. I'm going to judge you for buying that deck elsewhere.
Judge your sin back here behind the screen.
Okay. So, ieri hatan human ayu. Wodka nuna, ompui, to the sacred hoop of humanity. Ompui, bring your healing here. And maybe we'll do more than 2 for that. So, you know, 6 of Pentacles. That thing with Judy is a problem of humanity. Humanity needs to get over this idea that things need to be earned or not earned. And it's not about what you perceive to be fair. It's a matter that trusting and knowing that Aini, divine reciprocity, will work itself out. That the universe maybe is taking care of things and we don't need to make it our personal business. But it's also like we need to really learn how to love thy neighbor as ourselves, which comes down to a lesson in self-love. There is a book by Neil Donald Walsh. It's Conversations with God, book 4. It's called Awaken the Species. I highly encourage everybody to do that. The card that will let us do that is the Empress. Just like the 8 of Swords, the Empress is all about the inner vision. It's about the intuition. We are so caught up in the external world that we need to go back and really tap into that still small voice within. And COVID really helped us with this. I have an acronym for COVID. Creating opportunities via intuiting divinity. And when COVID happened, the world went on pause and people sat, just me, myself, and my soul, and they realized, maybe there's more. And they started seeking, which is one reason that stores like Goddess Elite, they just have an influx of people who drive even states away to come and see what it's about. So what are you aware of today that you weren't aware of yesterday that you could give more attention to start navigating your life more in the direction of helping evolve humanity and turning the tears of sorrow for how the children of the world are living, shift them from tears of sorrow to tears of joy. And the third one, the King of Pentacles, this is all the projections of ancestral lines, like how much I saw a video the other day talking about, the racism in this country and all these things. It's nothing new. It's just coming around again, coming around again, coming around again. We're still dealing with the projections and the heaviness of our founding fathers and all these different things. They had these great concepts, but it was tainted by the belief systems of the time. When are we going to stop believing what we're taught and start going with what we truly know? And that is really the message for humanity, to awaken to itself and see what we could really do if we work together in the kingdom of we instead of getting stuck in the kingdom of me. And I will leave everyone with that as a collective rating. Booyah! What?
Nothing, just looking at screens, looking at screens. So we have any last minute people?
Last minute people.
Mm-hmm. So we're all caught up. Free energy healing or reading, let us know in the comments. Drop your name, what kind of deck you'd like. You can pick any of the ones on the table.
Or the mystery deck.
Yeah,
Or
the mystery deck.
I also have the Angel Tarot, which is the box isn't up there. I only had a table so big. When I started as a reader, I'm like, I'm not going to be one of those people that only has all these different decks. I only need one deck. Why do these silly people have so many? And then I got the tarot.
Yeah, how many are you up to now, Hank?
I plead the fifth. All right. I don't know.
How many crystal skulls do you have, Hank?
Over 100.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how many, but you got most of them for me, so you should know. You can count them.
Hey, Joanne, any deck? You know what? Let's do the Jack-o'-lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern tarot. And if you go to Goddess Elite's tarot page, I did a deck review of this one. It is a beautiful, beautiful deck. And I did a special reading called a Pumpkin Patch reading, which is all about taking, and I varied it a little bit. Go watch the video. It's an amazing deck, and you can do a very specific reading of how to germinate and culture like a seed of inspiration. Who is this for again?
Joanne?
Joanne. Yeah, you have to know my Joanne.
Buddy on TikTok?
Oh boy, oh boy.
Let's see.
Woo. And I happen to know firsthand Melissa has some of these decks available, so if you want to pick one of these up, you can.
Judy wants to know if she can request an energy healing for a friend. Is that allowed?
Maybe.
It's a yes or no question, sir.
I have to. Ask me when I'm not in the energy of this reading, and then
Okay.
we'll see, because I can't.
Hold, please, Judy.
I could do both, but. So we have Five of Pentacles. So Five of Pentacles is all about relationships, and specifically, it's about an ending of relationships. It's not necessarily romantic, but what it's an invitation for is to look at what relationships are in your life, romantic, friendship, work, and otherwise, that are there out of necessity. Like this is like normally two people outside of church huddling together because they're cold. They don't want to be together. They're just cold. And so they have out of necessity come together, and they're in this dynamic. This could represent a very toxic relationship, that there's some element of it that's working for you, but it's really not serving you. And to really take a look and start to consider shifting and putting yourself in better relationships that are going to be more nurturing for the soul. And to go along with that, if you're able to do that, we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is like all the tools that you could possibly have access to creating your life are going to be available to you, but right now they're not showing up because there's so much energy being poured into things that are not serving you. So may be a very sad time, because we like these relationships, like they're very comfortable. Maybe it's how you grew up and it's something that you're very comfortable with, but really, do you deserve better? And if you can shed that thing, there's going to be a lot more RAM to start new programs that are going to create a lot more in your life. But there's too much resources going to places where it's just out of necessity. And I'll leave you with that. So,
Hi, Mike.
Do we?
So Nancy said any deck, and I think the Grand Lux would do well for Nancy.
So when it comes to healing with and without permission, I believe that there's nothing that can be done that would thwart the will of the soul. So we could do a healing, and it may or may not be received. We can make the energy available, but I would be more inclined at the end, we'll do like a general healing, but I can specifically call that energy of that person in to participate if they choose to. But it's like the whole thing, like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them do a backflip. We can make the energy available, But whether or not that soul receives it is another matter. But I'm not one that believes that you could thwart a soul's will and give healing against, without permission. But it is 1,000 times more dynamic if the person who's aware of it the person that the healing is for is aware of it, if they're actually open to receiving, if that makes sense.
So Joanne said, needed to hear this, needed to focus on real friends and not just the convenient ones.
Yeah, convenient friends. Just because they can go to the park with you doesn't mean that you should. Sometimes, being by yourself, that's a thing. Like, I used to not be comfortable doing anything by myself. I always had to have distraction or someone around with me. Now I'll go to a movie by myself, no problem. Go to a restaurant. I'll take off for a weekend and go to a retreat place and just be on my own. And I'm comfortable with that now. And it may be like those convenient friends, maybe they're just fillers to not allow you to tap into that inner knowing and that still small voice to really start asking the questions. What would I like my life to look like? And how do I go about creating that? All right, where are we at?
Nancy
Nancy.
and Grand Lux.
Grand Lux. Yari hatta guma Nancy. Nancy, 2 cards. And for that general healing that I'll do with 5 minutes left, we'll say I'll do a real quick collective healing. If Judy wants that person included, just the first name, and I'll call that energy in.
Yeah, she said a general would be nice.
Wow, we got the Queen of Coins. We got 2 Pentacles. We got the Knight and the Queen of Coins. This is like all the thoughts and emotions. You may be twisted and turned all sorts of ways and don't know which way is coming, which way is going. And this is what I like to think of as, it's like asking a fish what's in water. It's like asking a fish what is water, and they're just like, I don't know, it's everywhere. Like it's so twisted that it's hard to see because it feels like it's been this way for a while. And so what may be important for you, and what I would invite you to do, is find someone that you really can trust, and really, what does my life look like to you? And get someone from outside of the situation or the aquarium that can actually read the label on the outside and give you some information. Go get a reading, go get a healing, get some sort of outside information, because everything is really just, there's a lot of muck going on. What would be a biggest contribution for you here? Chariot. So for you, when there's situations like this and you really don't know what to do and everything's kind of twisted, turning, and heavy, make an action plan and stick to it, and then evaluate, because you're not going to see necessarily a lot of change up front. You need to stick to a plan and then reevaluate, make another little plan. It's just like making these little slow steps, but I really feel that some outside influence, outside clarity, and outside perspective is going to be the most illuminating, because right now you're in the thick of it and you can't see it for yourself. But you got to have the perseverance to stay the course anyway and keep showing up. And it will change. It just doesn't feel very fun right now. And I'll leave you with that.
All right. Oh, Magic Mike says there's a difference between helping someone with assistance and then being an independent therapist.
There you go.
Let's see, anybody else?
Thank you, Magic Mike. Incidentally, I have my very first ceremony on Sound Magic Mike. It's going to be the last Friday in April at my new place. And then on the second Monday, every month starting in May, me and Liza are going to be at Goddess Elite doing a breathwork plus sound bath type of thing. So you can, that one's not up yet. That will be up later today on the Goddess Elite page. The other one, you could go to the Sonic Shaman Facebook profile, and you can find the event there for the sound bath if you're interested in that. And then
We are caught back up again.
wow.
It is about 10 to opening, so
yeah,
might be a good time to wind down. New friends joining in. Hank does this every Thursday, so if you liked it and you want to do it again, please like, subscribe, follow whatever platform you're on, so you can join us again, turn on notifications. But we do a lot through the store, different lives, different things, so.
But Thursday is the best.
Some would say Woo Woo Wednesday might be the best.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Marianne is pretty cool. I watched that one myself, so it's always interesting to see what is talked about.
Yeah.
And hopefully one day me and Nanette will be doing a stream live through Goddess League because we work really well together and we teach Reiki together sometimes and different things like that. So it might be something to look forward to if her and I can be on a stream together.
Yeah, Nanette does energy healing, Reiki, all that fun stuff Tuesdays at noon. There are Wednesday evening readings on Twitch. We're going to start adding a few extra things on Twitch. So if you are on Twitch, go ahead and follow us over there. Just because that platform's so much easier to get on than some of the other ones with cameras and everything else. But we hope you enjoyed it. You'll join us next Thursday. If you're local, want to see Hank, you can come on in. Otherwise, go to the goddesselite.com webpage and book with him, and you can do it over Zoom.
And then final, just everybody get centered and call in your guides, your angels, your teachers, and call in your sacred soul hoop. And I'll say it in Quechua. Iari yanapekuna, ompui, 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 iari wikanuna, ayukuna, ompui, ompui, ompui. So you got all your peeps there, you got all your soul family there, and all the people that are near and dear to you, intend for them to be able to call in their guides and teachers and their hoops and continue going until you see all of creation included. And then as I chant Kanchai in closing 2 times, everybody receives that light from the upper world to fuel whatever is going to be the highest and best for their soul on this crazy walk of life. To let life happen through them instead of to them. With Kanchai twice. Kanchai. And now imagine all those spirit people and all the people that are in the unseen world chanting and vibrating with us. And I invite you to chant this too if you like chanting Kanchai. You'll get a different experience if you chant it with me, believe me. 1, 2, 3. Kanchai. Nike Kawaii, thank you. I love you. And until next Thursday, have a wonderful week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.